What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. And I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Krista Don One, and welcome to a fabulous rendition of Too Early for This podcast. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Feel free, be sure to hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share this live stream as well as this YouTube channel with your friends, family, as well as your followers. Let's get this YouTube channel in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me? You can also follow me Too Early for This podcast, the audio portion of it on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast indulgement. How y'all living? How y'all living? How y'all living? Welcome, good morning to my early morning crew who just now rise and shine, waking up to start another productive day. I like to send a shout out to the graveyard crew. Y'all been there for at least 8 hours. Okay, y'all winding down. Y'all ready to go home. I don't blame you. I want to go home. I don't blame you guys. I really don't blame you. So, we got a fabulous show today, and we're going to be talking about, well, I'm going to be talking about one thing in particular. Uh, we're talking about Shannon Sharpe, and I do apologize for the noise in the background. I do apologize for that, as well as the future of I'm Krista Down One YouTube channel. We'll talk about that a little bit later in this presentation. All right. So let's get into Shannon Sharpe. All right. So Shannon Sharpe was in he went viral. Okay, for those who've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. If you're not familiar with Shannon Sharpe, you better get familiar with Shannon Sharpe because that's going to be a household name. He's going to be the male version of Oprah. I'm telling you, his future is bright, despite all of these minor setbacks. Going viral for all the wrong reasons. All right. So Shannon Sharpe used to be a pro football tight end. He was drafted by the Denver Broncos, have several Super Bowls. Also went to Baltimore, won a Super Bowl there, and then life after football, he became a sports personality. His first big job was at CBS Sports, and some situations happened over there at CBS Sports. Some had to do with harassment, harassment. Cannot be confirmed nor denied. He got let go at CBS Sports, has bounced around several networks like the NFL Network, ESPN, just to name a few, and got his big. He also did Twitch. A lot of people are not familiar that Shannon Sharpe used to do Twitch. And Shannon Sharpe was very familiar with social media. All right. So Skip Bayless Skip Bayless been noticing about Shannon Sharpe, and when Skip Bayless left ESPN to do his own show, Undisputed, he recommended Shannon Sharpe. He wanted Shannon Sharpe than anyone else. Now, Fox Sports One didn't have a clear understanding of who Shannon Sharpe was. The original proposal of Undisputed was you supposed to have these two uh, journalists from sports entertainment, and they was going to debate one another. Skip Bayless and I don't know who else they had in mind, but Skip Bayless was recommending heavily for Shannon Sharpe. And when Shannon Sharpe got the job, Fox Sports One, Undisputed, Skip Bayless never looked back. Okay, now it was a very successful show, Undisputed, and it got this terminology. I don't think Skip and Shannon, was broadcasting this, but a lot of people, particularly on social media, was talking about how Undisputed was going to be the first take killer. And then a lot of people were talking about how First Take ESPN has gone down. Stephen A. Smith was doing First Take with Max Kellerman. That dynamic did not work. Then he started to venture out and just debate different people, different personalities. And then now, if you look at Take now is it's not like it used to be with Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. It's more of a sports talk show, like The View. So, and they talk about different things, but nevertheless, everyone thought that Undisputed was supposed to be this first take killer. Didn't come none of it didn't meet those ridiculous metrics. And I said then what I 8 years ago, what I'm saying now, it would have been very difficult for Undisputed to take the place of First Take because ESPN is in more households than Fox Sports One. Let's just go and get that out of the way. ESPN is more popular than Fox Sports One. ESPN just has more viewerships than Fox Sports One. It is what it is. No matter if you steal or purge personalities from ESPN, household names, people that made their names on ESPN, and then you pay them this ridiculous money to uh, join forces. Wonder Twin Powers activate, come over here to Fox Sports One and reproduce that magic. ESPN is still going to be ESPN. There's no one bigger than ESPN when it comes to sports entertainment and sports news. Okay, so I don't know why people thought that. Anyway, Skip and Shannon was there for like 8 years, and then I think it was a year ago that Shannon Sharpe left Fox Sports One. Now, a lot of people want to say that Shannon Sharpe got fired, and I think that's like the most caveman anecdotic way you can describe it. Basically, uh, the powers that be at Fox Sports One were changing. The people that hired that were familiar with Skip Bayless's opinion, the people that were familiar with Shannon Sharpe, those executives are no longer there. All right, this is a whole new audience, and they just did not see the potential of Shannon Sharpe because Shannon Sharpe was not one of them. Okay, and Shannon Sharpe, they just did not renew Shannon Sharpe's contract. So Shannon Sharpe betted on himself. And at that particular time, Shannon Sharpe still had Club Shay Shay. He still had a YouTube channel. So Shannon Sharpe was betting on himself. He became a free agent. A lot of people thought that he was going to be the biggest free agent in sports entertainment, and I still believe that to this day. ESPN gave him a 1 year contract to see how it works on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith was recruiting Shannon Sharpe, and the rest they say is history. Shannon Sharpe betted on himself, and he bet on himself. So fast forward to this year, a lot of stuff. Uh, Shannon Sharpe, you started seeing Shannon Sharpe's fruits of his labor. Club Shay Shay, the YouTube channel, has gone on to be the most popular channel on YouTube. Club Shay Shay, the podcast, was a very successful podcast, and the biggest interview, his breakthrough interview, even though Shannon Sharpe was doing out, outrageous numbers before Cat Williams, when he interviewed Cat Williams, that just took him to another stratosphere. All right, Shannon Sharpe is already award winning as far as a sports personality, as far as him doing as far as him being an NFL player. Everyone knows the name Shannon Sharpe. And when he interviewed Cat Williams, it just took him to another stratosphere, folks. Uh, so much so that content creators on YouTube were kind of hating on Shannon Sharpe. All the Smoke podcast, they started hating on Shannon Sharpe. A lot of people, Vlad TV, when he said that Shannon Sharpe is not making the money he's claiming he's making on YouTube, and Shannon Sharpe figured out a way how to beat the algorithm. It's so few people on YouTube that can break the algorithm. Shannon Sharpe break the algorithms made the algorithm benefit him on social media as well as YouTube. And not only that, Shannon Sharpe was thriving and flourishing on First Take. All right, uh, you know, First Take, they was already making these crazy numbers of viewerships. They was getting even crazier numbers when Shannon Sharpe was also hosting First Take. So you got all that stuff going on. ESPN rewarded Shannon Sharpe by giving him a multi-million-dollar contract that he signed this year. And Club Shay is doing the numbers, is doing the records and things of that nature. So Shannon Sharpe was doing his thing. All right. Um, so Shannon Sharpe is getting very successful. Shannon Sharpe is getting hugely popular, and all because of him betting on himself. Now, um, Shannon Sharpe not only had the Club Shay Shay YouTube channel, but Shannon Sharpe started another channel on YouTube called Nightcap. And he had in chat, he had Chad Ocho Cinco, also a host on Nightcap. He had Gilbert Arenas. He had several other people that made appearances on Nightcap. And that too is hugely popular. Not only that, he merged with the Volume, which is Colin Cowherd's platform, became a partner and moved Club Shay Shay to the Volume. All right, he's getting all these sponsorship deals. A lot of people, want him to interview him. He started to get, not only he was on a huge roll with Cat Williams, but a lot of other people sat on that couch, like Tyrese, Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans, he flipped a negative into a positive with Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans was beefing with Vlad TV. Vlad TV thought that Marlon Wayans was not good enough to get 40K plus 20% on the back end of a Vlad TV interview. And he just said, okay, well, I'll just take my talents to Club Shay Shay, and less than a day, that interview is well beyond 2 million. I mean, well beyond a million views. And Vlad TV has not been heard since then. All right. So so Shannon Sharpe is doing all this amazing stuff, and it was only getting better with Shannon Sharpe. Okay. Shannon Sharpe's doing all this extraordinary stuff. And then last week, when you got good, and when God blesses you and he rewards you and you're doing good, okay, there's a constant struggle with good versus bad. It's like a roller coaster in life. You're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. And I felt like last week was, the Shannon Sharpe downs. Now, were they low points? No, but they were. You saw the best of Shannon Sharpe earlier this year, and now you're seeing an incline of Shannon Sharpe's, the bad happening to Shannon Sharpe. All right. So let's start off with the innocent first. The innocent stuff first. Shannon Sharpe, and Chad Johnson got into a disagreement. I wouldn't say it was an argument. I wouldn't say that they were mad at each other. But they just had a different of an opinion, and they just had a disagreement. Now, Chad Johnson was heading to Nightcap, and he got his keys locked in his car. Um, and he had to wait for a locksmith. And by him waiting on a locksmith, he got there late to Nightcap. And Shannon Sharpe tried to. Now I felt like this was like a strategy for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm pretty sure behind when the lights are off and when the cameras turn off, I'm pretty sure Shannon Sharpe is, talking to Chad about being a little bit more professional and just maneuvering different now because of Nightcap and how successful Nightcap is. and the stuff that you was doing on those other places like ESPN and then I Am Athlete and all these other podcasts, you're gonna have to maneuver a little bit different because Nightcap is getting hugely popular. All right. And Nightcap is not only now Shannon Sharpe says Nightcap is not only his show, but it's Chad Johnson's show. All right. And Chad Johnson to me appears like that person, and we all know this person at work or at school or whatever. When you're trying to, tell them something, it just goes into one ear right out the other. And some people don't learn their mistakes from making mistakes. Some people learn, I mean, some people change, some people just don't want to change. Some people feel like there's two type of people. There's two type of people in the world. Okay, there are two people. There's one person that will learn from their mistakes and change and grow and develop to become a better person. And then there's the other person who doesn't learn from their mistakes and feel like everyone should change around them. And Chad Johnson just reminds me of a person who, is not going to learn from his mistakes. He's got the mindset of, well, everyone's going to have to change around me because I ain't changing. Okay, and it's just the mentality of people. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you come from a very wealthy background or a very poor background, or your education or your religious perspectives or your philosophies or anything of that nature. It's just in some people's DNA. All right. So Chad Johnson, when he was chastising Chad Johnson on the live version of Nightcap, I will agree Chad Johnson handled it very well. Uh, and but his response, talking about, well, I'm not changing, just because I joined this show, I was successful before the show, and I'm going to continue to be successful after the show, which is true. I do believe Chad Johnson is a personality that, you know, uh, can easily find what could probably find another job. Okay, it's going to be a long time before Chad Johnson is going to be working at McDonald's. Plus, uh, Chad Johnson saved like 85% of his earnings from the NFL. So it's not like Chad Johnson is broke by any stretch of the imagination. Chad Johnson is really frugal with his money. He's not spending his money on ridiculous stuff. Okay, he's not Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson was in the news today about, he took on a loan and now he can't repay the loan, so now he's got to buy everything that's not bolted down to his creditors. Okay, so yeah, Chad Johnson is just not that way. So anywho, you know, Shannon Sharpe chastised them online, talking about, did you had a driver when you was working at ESPN? And Chad Johnson said no. And then Shannon Sharpe responded like, yes, you did. And when you was working, I forgot, I think he talked about a podcast or CBS or the NFL network. And he asked him, did you have a driver when you was working for them? And Chad Johnson said in the beginning, but I didn't at the end. And, Shannon Sharpe again said, you're basically just saying that you're lying. All right. Now, um, I do agree with everything Shannon Sharpe said on that live version of Nightcap, but to me, um, and even though he says that Nightcap, he's a partner, Chad Johnson is a partner, it's good to think that way and it's good to believe that, but unfortunately, Nightcap is owned by Shannon Sharpe. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe is Chad Johnson's boss. And he also talked about how a lot of people are depending on him. Okay. He grew the staff, so a lot of people are not only depending on Shannon Sharpe, but they're also depending on Chad Johnson. And and when you got people depending on you, You can't just come in whenever you want to come in. Now, again, I agree with everything Shannon Sharpe said. However, I do feel like that stuff should have remained private because it, when you're the boss, and I noticed this, and I said this on Too Early for This podcast, my other YouTube channel. Um, when you're the boss, you lead by example. You're if people see you making bad decisions or just saying bad things about employees, then they're going to be saying to themselves, okay, well, if he's saying this about X and Y, then what he's saying about me. Okay, so I think you should lead by example, and lead and not all people are fit to be leaders. Just because you're the boss or you're the manager does not mean that you're the boss, you're the manager in title and in position. But when it comes to leadership, you can't buy leadership. Either you have it or you don't have it. um, Communication is a part of being a good leader. All right. Knowing what to say and how to say it is part of being a good leader. And at that particular uh, junction, I felt like Shannon Sharpe missed his opportunity to shine on how great of a leader he could be by just taking this behind closed doors and just telling Chad Johnson, "Hey, we just can't have you doing this because you're setting a precedent to the rest of the staffers. Like, okay, if Chad Johnson can be late, how come I can't be late? Okay, if Chad Johnson is not doing his best all the time, then why should I do the best all the time?" Now, I know people are going to say in the comment section, well, everybody's not like Chad Johnson. And that's true. But you have to be foolish, or you're not, or you just not been around in a professional workplace environment, and you just don't know that if if the person at the top ain't caring about their job, then why should the people below him care about their job? So when you're at that stature, you have to present you have to present that you're very professional, you care about your job, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to make us successful. So when people see you do that, you get more out of people. All right. When or you get more out of people, or you get to see who people really are. Maybe there's a lot of people at the workplace that is just not about that life. Maybe there's some people in there that just want to come in, clock in, do the lease, and get a paycheck, and then they up out of there. All right. So you get to see the good and the bad out of people when you challenge yourself to do more, and you expect that from everyone else. Lead by example. Okay, and that's basically what Shannon Sharpe was referring to Chad Johnson. Again, I agree with everything Shannon Sharpe said. I just felt like, airing him out publicly, it it can only go one direction. And now, you got Chad Johnson saying, well, I'm not going to change, and I'm just going to be who I am. And if people, and basically he's just saying, hey, if you don't like it, you can just fire me. Okay, because I'm going to still be me. I don't, and he did say, I don't mind bending a little, but I'm not bending all the way. All right. And that is, to me, the crux of Shannon Sharpe. I mean, Chad Johnson. When you are at a status, all right, you have to show everyone below you that what it takes to get to this to what it takes to get to this point, what it takes to get to this stratosphere. And if throwing out remarks of, well, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, I'm not, changing for nobody, okay? Not even a little. And when you have that arrogance about yourself, then you're not going to get the best out of people that work below you. That's the only point I'm making. Now, again, I do agree with everything Shannon Sharpe said. I just thought that that should have been handled privately. Okay. And I said that on social media. All right. I think everything what Shannon Sharpe said was true. I just thought that they should have handled that privately. And then, you know, and there was a fracture in their relationship because the next day, Chad Johnson, they're doing nightcap. Shannon Sharpe expecting Chad Johnson to be already ready, and then when they go to Chad Johnson's camera, it's just an empty chair. Now, a lot of people saying that that was a skit, Chad Johnson just making light of the situation and being funny, and that's all well and good. Okay, that's all well and good to be playful at the workplace. There's nothing wrong about being a little playful, but um that was on the heels of Shannon Sharpe chastising you uh, live, which I thought that was wrong of Shannon Sharpe. I think he should have handled that privately. But then at the same time, it's wrong for you to come back the next day and to do something like that, even though it's a prank, even though it's to lighten up the room. It sends the wrong message to the people that work for uh, Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe says you're a partner of Nightcap, even though legally Shannon Sharpe is your boss. But Shannon Sharpe is, saying that, hey, you're also the face of Nightcap too. So what about all the people that's below y'all? How they feel about this for the past 2 days? Okay, they're saying to themselves, okay, if he's not taking this serious, then why should I take this serious? And again, folks, I know in the comment section people are going to say, well, you got to understand, Chad Johnson is this big time personality, and Shannon Sharpe is this big time personality, and you you have to treat them differently than the people that work for them. But if you want the very best out of people, people got to know that you are really serious about being a boss and about this company. If the boss is not serious about this company, then why would y'all expect the people that working for the company to be serious about the company as well? Okay, so there's growth and development on both sides of the spectrum, as the boss, as the employer, and as the employee. But anywho, so um that didn't went well, but then they started laughing about it. Now, last week also happened where now all this one I'm about to say is allegedly. Okay, go by um I can't say that this is factual. All I can do is tell y'all allegedly. Now, before we begin and go into that, let's take a quick commercial break, okay?
You know what I don't understand? I'm going to talk about it right now. I get the views. I get a lot of them. But I don't get the likes. Like if you spend that much time to watch the video and then you don't hit the like button, what's going on? Come on now. Pull yourself together. If you're going to watch it, like it. Get busy.
What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. And I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. Just letting you guys know, please subscribe to I'm Krista Don One's podcast. We got to get these numbers up. And also take part of Too Early for This podcast. Not only watching it and hitting the like button, but also commenting in the comment section. The comment section is your guys' domain, okay? It is where you can tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong. You can talk among yourselves. So I want the comment section lit on every Too Early for This podcast. So we're going to get right back into the live stream. Rate, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with your friends, family, as well as your followers. You can also join the join membership button. Membership has its privileges. All right. Back to the podcast. So, all right, we got all that stuff out of the way. We're gonna get into Shannon Sharpe. So, this last week was not a good week for Shannon Sharpe. Okay, with the nightcap fiasco with him and Chad Johnson, and now the Instagram Live debacle. Now, allegedly, um, Shannon Sharpe accidentally went live, and this is from Shannon Sharpe and from his people. Okay, Shannon Sharpe said that he accidentally hit the live button on Instagram, and he was in a private moment with his, I don't know if his jump off, his main squeeze, his side chick, his girlfriend, his wife, his fiance, whoever he was with, he accidentally hit the Instagram live as he was laying his phone down, and you can hear a lot of moaning and groaning. You heard a man howling at the moon. You heard a bunch of pillow talk. I mean, it was going on and on and on and on, and this only lasted for like a minute and 13 seconds. Okay, you heard, so it went. He went live, and then the live shuts off. So, Shannon Sharpe, and like I said, his version of the story is he was getting intimate with this female, and he was laying his phone down, and as he was laying his phone down, uh he accidentally opened the Instagram app and it went to Instagram Live. Now, I don't know, a lot of people are not very familiar with Instagram Live or just Instagram in general. You have to take so many steps to get to Instagram Live. It ain't no, as soon as you touch the app, you immediately go to Instagram Live. Okay. It just doesn't work that way. It's like 3 or 4 steps just to even get to Instagram Live. Now, Shannon Sharpe did say he's not techno savvy. He's not very familiar with social media. He normally has someone handling his social media affairs. So, this was clearly an accident on Shannon Sharpe's part. Now, that's the version of the story Shannon Sharpe is spewing to social media. Now, after Instagram Live Gate happened, you had a lot of people roasting the hell out of Shannon Sharpe. There was one point Shannon Sharpe could have lost his job at ESPN, but even I reported on Too Early for This podcast, I just didn't see that happening. They recently signed Shannon Sharpe, so it, it would have been different if Shannon Sharpe was had 1 year remaining on this contract, or his contract was up and he wasn't doing his part at ESPN anyway. He didn't, generate no revenue or generate viewership or anything like that. And they couldn't make money off Shannon Sharpe. Then I can see how this incident could give ESPN an excuse not to renew his contract or just buy him out from under the last year of his deal. But when everything is all up, and ESPN is doing these crazy numbers, particularly when Shannon Sharpe is there, and they recently signed him to a multi-million-dollar contract. There's levels to this. So Paul Pierce even went to Instagram and said, that's what's going on over at ESPN. Y'all fired me because I was at a barbershop or whatever, and there was these two strippers twerking, and I was drinking, and I was a little tipsy, and I was on Instagram Live. Y'all fired me. Shannon Sharpe is on Instagram Live, having an afternoon delight, making whoopee and pillow talking, howling to the moon, and y'all telling me that he's not even going to get suspended. He's not even going to lose his job. He didn't get fired on his day off. So what gives ESPN? Well, um, Paul Pierce, you're not Shannon Sharpe, and Shannon Sharpe is definitely not you. So and you have to understand where it, the where time frame really matters. Shannon Sharpe just recently signed a multi-million-dollar year. You was on the last leg of your contract. Okay, plus when they do a retrospect, they go like, okay, this is the numbers this is what we're making with Paul Pierce. We're not getting an investment out of this, so we're probably not going to renew his contract. And if we do renew his contract, it's going to be far less than what he got on his initial contract. Okay. So, time frames matter. in that particular situation. But anywho, going back to Shannon Sharpe, ESPN released a statement saying that they're not going to discipline Shannon Sharpe. They're not going to rip his country. They're not going to do any of that. Okay. Shannon Sharpe said on Nightcap that he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on sponsorships. There's a lot of companies that's having second thoughts of doing sponsorship deals with Shannon Sharpe. Okay. Now, you gotta take everything what Shannon Sharpe says with a grain of salt. Okay. Nobody that was interested in sponsoring Shannon Sharpe has came forward and said we're no longer doing business with Shannon Sharpe. It happens to every other personality. It happens to every other influencer. Okay. So no one has went on social media and said, unfortunately, we're canceling our partnership with Shannon Sharpe due to this Instagram live fiasco. We do apologize. And this, that, and the third. Okay, so you have to take what Shannon Sharpe says with a grain of salt. All right. Um, and he said he felt bad about it. He cried about it. He prayed about it. And in the beginning, when he was on nightcap, just pleading to the masses out there, including Chad Johnson, and Chad Johnson could have pounced on Shannon Sharpe like Shannon Sharpe pounced on Chad Johnson earlier that week. But you know what? I totally have a different newfound respect and understanding about Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson could have took that opportunity and say, well, you just hammered me about being professional and maneuvering differently, and now you on Instagram Live making whoopee and all that. He could have went totally left on Shannon Sharpe, but he didn't do that. Chad Johnson was very professional. He was concerning, like he came off more than just, hey, I just not only, we're more than just partners. We're more than just workers. We're more than just content creators. You're my friend at the end of the day. Okay. Even T.O., who Chad Johnson and T.O. are friends, and T.O. was hammering Shannon Sharpe, and Chad Johnson could have took that opportunity and was joking along with T.O., but he did not do that. So what Chad Johnson did, I got a newfound respect for Chad Johnson. I'm gonna be in Chad Johnson's corner, just winning him on. And hey, look, at the end of the day, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to be successful as a content creator. There's not one particular way in being successful. There are multi universes, levels, difference in how to be successful. Okay. And I'm very proud of Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson could have easily pounced on Shannon Sharpe, and Shannon Sharpe was allowing him to do that, and he didn't. So they had the roast. Lavelle Crawford, Snoop Dogg, Cam Newton, everybody was roasting Shannon Sharpe. Okay, and that was funny, and I felt like it was a form of a form of you know, trying to humble yourself, letting hey, accidents happen, even players mess up. And it's like a form of counseling and I felt like Shannon Sharpe felt a lot better after that roast than he was before they even started that roast. Okay. Cause I know it was weighing heavily on his mind. Y'all gotta realize when, that it, now he's saying that it was an accident. So we have to put him in the mindset of, okay, this is an accident. So y'all got to realize he's probably got a lot of thoughts in his head, like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. People know my private life. Um, you know, uh, you know, ESPN's probably gonna let me go. I'm gonna lose all these sponsorship deals. And he even talked about how he had a big name personality that he was going to interview, but then they turned it down after this situation. Now, again, you have to take what Shannon Sharpe says with a teaspoon of salt. It could have happened. It could not have happened. Okay. Either way, I'm just telling you what Shannon Sharpe said. All right. So Yeah, so Chad Johnson, it's Chad Johnson. Shannon Sharpe was going through he had a lot of stuff on his mind. And it's understandable why he feels guilty. It's understandable why he's worried. It's understandable why he was crying and he felt bad because he's he's probably thinking all this work that he has done to reevaluate himself and to get a multi-million-dollar deal with ESPN, have the hottest podcast on earth, okay, having Nightcap, okay, doing business deals. He's saying to himself, all this is crashing. This could potentially crash around him, and can he rise from the ashes like a phoenix? You know, after he just rise like a phoenix from the ashes when he got let go at Fox Sports One. Okay. Life wasn't great at that particular time. Okay. Well, career life. Okay. So, he's thinking about all that stuff. Okay. And it's understandable. He should think that way. Okay. So, um, after the roast, I thought everything was going to be moving forward. Now, I don't know which came first, okay? But I'm just gonna go by my timeline. He's and Even though he felt bad about the Instagram live thing, uh he still was jokingly or he was still joking about about that situation. He was joking around it. And I felt like, look, there's a time and place for everything. Maybe you should hold off on the jokes and things of that nature. And like when people were saying, when even Cat Williams texted him say, now people can't say that you not gay. All right. Um, I felt like he shouldn't made that known on Nightcap or on social media. I don't think he should have entertained that stuff. I don't think he should be entertaining about, even though you was making love with your significant other. I don't think you should been joking around it or making light about it or being lighthearted about it. There's a time and place for everything. Right now, you're trying to show the sponsors, show your employer ESPN, show potential suitors who may want you to interview them. You're showing them that this was a terrible mistake and it will never happen again. And I'm not making fun of it or making light of it, any of that. I'm just going to I'm going to walk away from those traps. So, people are still evaluating you even though you apologize. So, then Shannon Sharp, started to, you know, make jokes about it. um trying to try because laughter, laughing. What's the old adage? I rather have people laugh with me than laugh about me. So he made this situation a laughable teaching moment. Okay, in the beginning stages of that, I thought that was therapeutic. I thought that was okay. It was acceptable. It was lighthearted at times. Okay, but then he kept doubling down on it, talking about, well, guys can't say that about who I have in bed, because I was putting it down in that situation. He was making lighthearted jokes about that. Even though Gilly and Wallow joked about how long his performance was, 1 minute and 15 seconds, and there's a lot of women out there that said on social media, "Oh, I wish it was me." So, it's like this. Everyone has this misconception of, oh, if you're not in bed with your wife and if you're not doing it for 30 minutes or an hour, then you're not doing it right. Okay. Uh, I do feel like that that's a stigma that not a lot of people do. The average person have sex for like 5 minutes. Okay, let's just be honest and be real about it. It's gonna be some nights where you can do 10, 15 minutes, and there are gonna be other nights you're gonna do far less than 5 minutes. Okay, so um, it's not no perfect time in making love. Okay, so anywho, Shannon Sharpe came out with a T-shirt about the Michelle. That's my Michelle. And social media is undefeated. Social media has found this, allegedly, social media found this woman. Now, this woman is on social media. I'm not even going to say her name. You guys can go find her for yourself. And she's completely denying this incident. Now, um, even though there's some people that know this lady, and they said that's her voice. They're matching her voice uh from that Instagram live of Shannon Sharpe, saying no, that's really her. I don't know if it's her, and I don't care if it's her. Okay, and I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying, "Wow, a lot of women, even if it wasn't them, they would somehow try to steal some clout from this and get some more followers, or make something out of it to what where like the hot Tui girl." Okay, um, I I feel like this. Normally, when a woman doubles down and say that she was not with this person, it's one or two things. Either that person is they don't feel like that person, they're not attractive to that person, or she's already involved with somebody else. It's just y'all don't know on social media. You only know what she posts on her Instagram. Okay. So for all we know, she could be married with 3 kids. Okay. For all we know, she could be like a pastor or a deacon or a teacher, or, whatever. Obviously, she does not want this clout. Okay, and she's doubling down, talking about this is not her. Okay, and and so it's either one, or maybe both of them. Okay, but a lot of people are saying that is familiar with this lady. It sounds like her. So I don't know. We don't know. And if people want to, if people want to um dig deep about this, then go ahead and do that. But to me, I'm not that invested into that. Okay. So anyway, Shannon Sharpe started making T-shirts about "That's My Michelle." Trying to make a profit out of it, trying to get some clout on it. I felt like that was the wrong. I didn't feel like he should have done that. Okay. Now, if Chad Johnson wants to do that, fine. If someone that's friends of Shannon Sharpe, then fine. But for Shannon Sharpe to do that, and for Shannon Sharpe to advertise that, now you're placating to the audience that you're trying to denounce a couple of days ago. So that happened, and Shannon immediately took those posts down because a lot of people were coming at his head top about it. Okay. And I can understand, and once again, and this is going to my final opinion about this, it's going to shed some light in my final opinion. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this was a knee-jerk reaction by Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe said, "Hey, let's make this bad opportunity, turn this bad opportunity into a positive. Okay, let's start making content around "That's My Michelle." Better yet, let's make T-shirts, let's make merch about this. Okay, and that this is what happens, and a lot of men. What I'm about to say about men, and this, and I'm included in this. um Men really don't think things through. Sometimes we have impulsive tendencies. All right, we think about the initial ideal, but we don't think about the whole idea through, like how this is going to affect others. And that my Michelle, when he came out with those t-shirts and he was making content around that, even though he's thinking there's no victim, there's no harm being done by, making merch on That's My Michelle. What he didn't realize is that this lady who's catching a lot of heat from being the woman that he had a sexual encounter with, um, she's getting a lot of heat on Instagram Live, and it's bad enough she has to fight with people in her comment section saying, "No, that's you. You're the trick. You the one that was in that room with Shannon Sharpe. You knew what you was doing. This, that, and the third." It's bad enough she has to deal with that. Now, to prolong this, now she's got to deal with That's My Michelle t-shirts. Okay, so uh, I don't know if this lady was the lady that was involved, nor do I care. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter if she was the woman that was making the noise in that Instagram live or if she wasn't the girl. She's getting bad press and bad attention by everyone else because everyone else is assuming it's her. So even though Shannon Sharpe finds it funny, to her, it's not funny to her. Okay. She's not laughing about this. Okay. She's a victim in this whole thing. And I think, and once again, I thought when okay, Shannon Sharpe thought about it initially and said, "Yeah, let's make some merch about it. Let's make fun on my misfortunes. Let's do some content around my misfortunes. You know, we can turn this negative into a positive." That works great for Shannon Sharpe, but that does not work great for the woman that is accused of being in the room with Shannon Sharpe. I don't know if she was in there or not. Okay. And this goes another step further, how the world perceives having sex. When a man has sex with a woman, he is labeled a player. He is labeled as an alpha. He is labeled as king. He's labeled as a lion in the jungle. Okay. He's labeled all these positive metaphors. But the woman who he had sex with, oh, she's a trick. She's a 304. She's a thought. She's this. She's a garden tool device. She's all of this. In other words, they're labeling her like they both had sex, but after the sex, this guy is being put on a pedestal, and this lady is being thrown out like yesterday's garbage. All right. In any situation, a woman is never going to be perceived a queen by having sex with a man. In any situation, a woman that has sex with multiple men are not going to be perceived as a queen. They're just going to be perceived as a trick. All right. But if a man has sex with multiple women, oh, he's a player. He's top dog. He's one of those ones. You know what I'm saying? So, um, that same action has two different cadences for two different genders. All right. And in any situation, the woman is always going to be is going to appear as the garden tool. In every situation, the man is going to be perceived as the player. All right. But I digress. All right. So that he decided to take all that stuff down because at the end of the day, it's great for Chad Johnson, it's great for Shannon Sharpe, it's great for exposure for Nightcap and Club Shay Shay, but it's not great for the woman in question because arguments say, what if she wasn't in that room? She's getting all this grief and slack off of people thinking that it was her, and she can't turn this negative into a positive. The negative is a negative to her. All right. So that went down. So yesterday came word, And this probably came down Friday. I was in and out of social media. Um, and I totally forgot about this. Okay. And the reason why I totally forgot about it was it's not a big thing to me. So before we get into that, let me take a quick commercial break, okay?
These niggas come in your chat. They won't even hit the like button because you all are a bunch of motherfucking haters. Bitch, it don't cause you shit not only to be over here, it don't cause you shit to hit the like button. But double fuck you motherfuckers in real life. Huh? Yes, that won't hit the like button. This is for you motherfuckers. Bitch, hit the like button. Don't hit the like button. Fuck you motherfuckers. In real life. You hear this? Look, bitches. You don't hit the like button. Fuck you motherfuckers. And thank you for the view, bitches. These
Thank you, Sister T. Thank you. Tell them to hit that like button. I appreciate that, Sister T. Okay. So, yeah, I totally forgot about this guy. And the reason why I totally forgot about this guy because it's not that deep or serious to me. I don't follow him or anything, but I do remember when Shannon Sharpe used to work at Fox Sports One, there used to be this stylist that would hang around Shannon Sharpe. He would do Shannon Sharpe's clothes, his fashion, his clothing, his hair, makeup, all that stuff. And He was the creative force behind the image of Shannon Sharpe at that particular time. All right. Um, so this guy would hang around Shannon Sharpe like a shadow. He would be at Shannon. He would uh, be around Shannon Sharpe when Shannon Sharpe would go to Undisputed. He would go to every game that Shannon Sharpe attended. This guy was sitting courtside with Shannon Sharpe, and I forgot the guy's name. I do apologize. Everywhere Shannon Sharpe was at, the stylist was with him. Okay, and I'm not famous. Okay, I'm not big on any stretch of the imagination. All right, I'm not big time like that. But I have never heard of an actor or an actress or a personality or a streamer or an influencer having their stylist around them like that. Okay. I'm not saying he was around him 24/7, but he was around him a lot. Okay. I don't know if that is the normal protocols. Like that happens all the time. Okay. I've heard some actresses that will have a whole team and like a social media consultant, uh, a stylist, someone to do their hair and nails. But for a man, it's like uncommon ground for that. Now, maybe he'll probably have someone from social media doing his social media. I don't know. So, anywho, this guy would be around Shannon Sharpe all the time. All right, and be at the NBA games. Well, um, ever since Shannon Sharpe went to ESPN, and I started seeing him less and less, and I'm thinking probably because he still worked for Shannon Sharpe, but he just don't want a lot of drama and mess, being around Shannon Sharpe. And maybe Shannon Sharpe told him, less is more. Okay. But I felt like it really stemmed from the incident Shannon Sharpe had at that Memphis Grizzlies game when he was courtside and he got into it with the Memphis Grizzlies players, John Moran's father, the announcers, the referees, the fans, and then they escorted him off into the background for everything to de-escalate. And then I guess he came back later. It was the Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. And from that moment on, I saw less and less of this individual because everyone was making content not only about that particular incident, but this particular guy. This guy started uh to make a name for himself on social media because a lot of people were saying, like, who is this guy? I mean, why is he always around Shannon Sharpe? And everyone was making content around that. And then, you started seeing less and less of him. All right. So word around the campfire is he no longer works for Shannon Sharpe. Now, I don't know if Shannon Sharpe, it was a business decision, or maybe he found a new stylist. I don't know. I don't know the backstory between him and Shannon Sharpe, but I do know that he no longer works for Shannon Sharpe and he has his own Instagram. And he made a comment on his Instagram saying, disputing the claims of Shannon Sharpe talking about he accidentally went on Instagram Live. And he pretty much said what everyone else said, like it is nearly impossible to just simply go to Instagram Live in one step. And Cameron and Mace even said this. Like, you have to go through so many different uh, applications just to even get to Instagram Live. All right. So now I feel like maybe he was already to the page of going on Instagram Live and he just stayed on that page. I know people, you got that one coworker or your significant other who is not tech technology savvy, and they keep their wherever they was at, they don't close it. They don't close their YouTube, they don't close their Apple Music, they don't close the websites, they don't close their Instagram, their Facebook. They're opening up pages on the internet. And we all know of that person, okay? And I was giving Shannon Sharpe a benefit of a doubt. I say, like, well, maybe he was already at that point, but he forgot to just swipe up and down to get out of that juncture. Okay. So I was giving him a benefit of a doubt, but I was like Cameron and Mace, like, that's literally impossible for you to accidentally go on Instagram Live. Okay. But I was trying to make excuses for him. So this guy that used to be the ex stylist for Shannon Sharpe was saying that, you know, that's not he doesn't believe the story Shannon Sharpe said about the Instagram Live. Now, word around the campfire is that this guy is ready to expose Shannon Sharpe, and he's ready to expose his secrets with Shannon Sharpe. All right. Now, this is the same guy that was in a romantic situation with another NFL player. Okay. Um, and look, I don't care who y'all sleep with. I don't care. Um, it doesn't matter to me who you sleep with or who you prefer. It's not that deep to me. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there are echoing the same sentiments. It's really not that deep who you sleep with or who you prefer or who you are attractive to. Okay. Um, just own up to it. Okay. If like I got this friend who likes big girls, but but when you tell him that, he gets upset when you say, "Oh, so you like them thick, you like them Jones thick," and he goes, "No, I don't like big women." So wait a minute, you are attractive to big women, but you just don't want us to say you like big girls. Okay, so make it make sense. All right. So if Shannon Sharpe prefers somebody like that, I really don't care. If he well, anyway, this stylist is proclaiming that he got let go of Shannon Sharpe, and he's going to tell deep secrets about Shannon Sharpe. Now, whatever, and the same thing I said about Shannon Sharpe, whatever you say with Shannon Sharpe, take with a teaspoon of salt. You have to do the same thing with this person, because this person is vindictive, this person is hurt, this person is willing to say anything to hurt the person that hurt them. Okay. Um, and if they were in a relationship and you got broke up, and the person breaks up with you, it's not going to be you're not going to be in a good place with that significant other. Okay. And I don't care if it's male, male, female, female, male or female, whatever. You're not gonna be in the best of mood if if your relationship got broke off, and the person that was in the relationship with you broke up with you. The person that broke up with you is fine with it because they can comfortably say they made that decision. But you was not allowed nor given a decision to either stay in a relationship or just break up. Okay. This came, you the person that just got broke up. You just got broken up out of a relationship. Okay. So he's proclaiming on social media that he's got these deep secrets about Shannon Sharpe. I don't know. And a lot of people are speculating that allegedly, him and Shannon Sharpe likes DLs. He's a down low brother. Allegedly, okay. We got to keep using the word allegedly, okay. But allegedly, all these stories are about to come out. Now he hasn't said what he knows, and and my guess is he's just teasing what he potentially could tell the world. And he's probably, is communicating with Shannon Sharpe, maybe not directly, but through social media, like, hey, if you don't want me to tell everybody your secrets, then I suggest you give me a payout, okay, and just buy them out. All right. And a lot of people are saying Shannon Sharpe does not want to have that come to the light that he was in a relationship with this guy. And all the stuff that people were saying about Shannon Sharpe will finally come true. And then now people are connecting the dots, like Connect Four, and saying, okay, well, now it makes sense about the Instagram Live fiasco thing. Because, you know, with the Instagram Live fiasco thing, now people can assume that Shannon Sharpe is straight and he likes females. All right. Um, and now since has been demonstrated and proven who his sexual preference is, then whatever this guy is going to say about Shannon Sharpe, if he doesn't have no pictures and videos and he's just talking, people are just going to go back to, well, he was on Instagram Live, making out with a female. All right. Now Joe Budden said something very curious on his show, and he said the average person on social media was saying Shannon Sharpe was gay, all right, but a lot of people are saying, well, maybe Shannon Sharpe is bi, okay, and that's what Joe Budden is saying. Now, here's why I'm gonna tie all this into a pretty bow, all right. Um, I think, and this is allegedly, this is my opinion. I have no proof on this opinion. I don't have no evidence in this opinion. This is my opinion. All right. So, and allegedly, let's use the word allegedly. And I said earlier in this live stream, I was going to explain to you what possibly could have happened with this Instagram live gate and Shannon Sharpe and things of that nature. I think, and like I said, this is just a theory. This theory can be proven wrong. It can be proven wrong because I don't have no proof or no evidence. All right. So this is what my belief is. I think Shannon Sharpe uh, was probably communicating back and forth with this former stylist, and they had some sort of a relationship, or Shannon Sharpe has said some things to this stylist that he doesn't want to make publicly. Let's just say that for the record, all right? And what the stylist knows could put a lot of questions about Shannon Sharpe, not only his sexual preference, but everything about Shannon Sharpe. And this could uh, hurt his credibility. This could, jeopardize a lot of future endorsements down the road. Um, and it could affect his career, like at ESPN or whatever. All right. And this guy knows everything because, look, everyone has this person. When you go, that one person you go to, and every time you have problems in your relationship or in your workplace or at school, you run to this person and you talk constantly. You're singing to this person. You got a live diary, basically, and you're telling them all your deepest and darkest secrets. And that's fine. That's therapeutic for some people. But there's gonna come a day where you and that person is not going to get along. And what you think that person is going to do? Now y'all no longer friends. They have no allegiance to you. But what do you think that person is going to do? That person is going to spill all your deepest and darkest secrets, everything that you thought about, everything that you said. They're going to display it with all your friends, and you're going to look like a total fool. And I think Shannon Sharpe was saving face on that, because Shannon Sharpe was, and forget if he's bi or if he's not straight or any of that stuff. Forget that stuff. But just imagine the stuff Shannon Sharpe has said to this guy, and this guy has just been just an ear that he can just talk to. Just imagine how much information this guy knows. Okay, now uh, this this is all alleged. All right, and Shannon Sharpe probably got him in an ironclad NDA, and that's why he hasn't came forward yet. All right. But still, that's not going to stop him from talking to somebody. All right. So that's a possibility. And I said in the middle, at the beginning of this live stream, you know, when we as men, when we come up with an ideal, we don't think about all the ramifications of this ideal. We may think of one or two, maybe possibly four things how this idea may not work or may work, but we don't think of the ramifications of how this ideal is going to affect everyone around you. Okay, we don't think that far. We don't think that deep. Okay, and it's not like men are clueless. It's just we don't. The details really don't matter when it comes to an ideal. Okay, so I think Shannon Sharpe, when he came up with this Instagram live story, and let's just say hypothetically, and this is allegedly, let's just say, for the sake of argument's sake, that this was all orchestrated to get the heat off of him because of his stylist, what this his stylist is going to potentially say about him. And this will take the air out of whatever he has planned. Um, let's just say this Instagram live thing just a big hoax, is a big lie. Let's just go ahead and say that for the sake of argument. Um, I don't think Shannon Sharpe realized when he came with the ideal, and when your back is up against the wall and you're trying to get out from under something, and you come up with an ideal, you don't think about the ramifications of this ideal, how you're going to make this ideal come to life. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe initially thought that this would take heat off of him, just in case this former stylist of his, go squeal and tell the world about Shannon Sharpe. And if he do tell the world about the real Shannon Sharpe, everyone's going to use the evidence of, well, I don't know about that, because Shannon Sharpe was caught on live messing with a female. Okay. So yeah, that's that. And I don't, I'm I tend to believe Shannon Sharpe's explanation, because why not? Why not believe him? Because he hasn't demonstrated or said anything to make me think otherwise. Okay. So yeah, that's all what I got for the Shannon Sharpe conversation, feel free to hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share it with your friends, family, as well as your followers. Moving forward with this channel, real fast, real quick. Um, I'm gonna do content. I'm gonna create content around the content that is familiar with all of us. And I'm gonna add a spin to it. And the thing about creating your own content, you have to have a space to do that content. And I do have space to do this content, but you also have to have the time and the opportunity to do that content. And some days I'm be able to just, you know, be able to make it. So I'm trying to figure out a schedule where one day, like if some current events happen that one day, I can do content around those current events. And if I can do like 50 minutes of content in one day and chop it up into videos and chop it up into shorts, then that will be very beneficial to this channel. As far as too early for this podcast go, I will continue to do that. And I told you guys, once we have 100 episodes, moving forward, we're going to maneuver a little bit differently. So, um, I think my opinion about that may have changed a little bit. But I got to get my membership package up, and I got to create content for my memberships. Okay, I got memberships ranging as low as 99 cents, and I think the biggest one is like 4.99. All right. So if you want to sign up for my membership, I'm gonna start making content around that, or the content that I'm gonna make for you guys. I'll probably put it on the membership page, the full video for membership, and then chop up the other ones for the rest of the week. So I may do that. So yeah. So that's all I got for today, guys. Tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all guys Friday. Something goes down this week. You probably may see a special edition of Too Early for This podcast. I will see you guys next week. Well, this coming Friday. I'm up out of here. Outro.